Alright, grade 8s. So today we're going to be finishing off this worksheet on fractions, decimals, and percents. So you're just going to notice there's a picture that kind of illustrates how to do some problems here. So if we have fractions and we want to convert it to decimals, we just take the top number divided by the bottom number. If we had decimals and we want to put them into percents, well, we take that decimal, we multiply it by 100, and then it becomes a percentage. Likewise, if we had a percentage and we want to go back to decimals, you just take that number and divide it by 100. So if you saw, like, let's say 25%, well, you just take 25 divided by 100. So you could say 0.25. Okay, and it's also like just moving the decimal places to the right. Also, if you were to write the percentage into a fraction, you're just writing the percentage with a denominator of 100. And then you can simplify it if need be. First things first, when it comes to fractions to decimals, we take the top number divided by the bottom number. So for example, like let's say if we had 3/7, okay, and we want to figure what that is as decimal. The way to do this mathematically is to actually do long division. Okay, long division. So this is where the denominator goes into the numerator. Sorry, it's my alarm. Okay, so we have 7. How many times does 7 go into 3? Well, 7 really doesn't go into 3, so it's going to be going 0 times. And what's my next step? I'm going to put a 0 next to the 3. And I eventually want to see if I can get a remainder of 0. I might not be able to, but let's see if I can. So 7 goes into 30. How many times? 4 times. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. And 30 minus 28 is 2. Obviously, 7 does not go into 2, so I'm going to put a 0 here. 7 goes into 20 twice, which 7 times 2 is 14. So that's why I'm getting 0.42. And I'm going to take 20, subtract 14. It's going to leave me with 6. Make it a 60, because 7 doesn't go into 6. So 7 times 8 will be 56. And I'm left with a 4. And I'm just going to keep on going. See, 7 doesn't go into 4, so I'm going to make this a 40. 7 times 5 is 35. So on and so forth, until I get a 0. In this case, I'm not going to be able to get a 0. That's alright. I can just go to like maybe 2 decimal places. So this is 0.4285, and it's going to go on. Alright, so that's how we can do that. But for most cases, guys and girls, we're not going to have enough time in the day to do long division for the amount of questions we have, so we can just literally take the numerator, 3 divided by 7 in our calculator, and we can figure this one out. Okay? Now, for a second sheet that I'm going to give you guys, we have 10% of 275. Well, if we ever want to think about things and break them down into 10%, all we're really doing is we're just moving the decimal place 1 to the left. So 10% of 275 is actually 27.5. Okay? So that's why our taxes are actually really good to calculate, because it's like, oh, 10%, pretty easy, move the decimal place, and then half of that would be the other 5. That's how you get your 15% really quick. So if we were to do 25% of 53, well, we know that 10% equals 5.3. It equals 5.3. And then we have another 10%, because we would have 20%, okay, and then we have 5%, so we have 10% and 10%, and then we have a 5%, okay, so 5%, so it's half of 5 would be 2.5, half of 3 would be 0.15. So 2.5 plus 0.15 will be 2.65. And then I can just add these up. So I have 5, 6 plus 6 is 12. Oops, I put my 2 up there. I carried the 2 instead of carrying the 1. So I have 1, 2, 3 plus 10. So 13.25. All right, last question. 17% of 140. Now, for some of these ones, they're a little bit trickier, but I will show you a quick way to do this. Find my calculator. There it is. So 17%. So how do I write 17% as a decimal? Well, I can divide it by 100. So 0.17 times 140. 23.8. That's my end answer. All right.